deepest pain a human being can experience is the passing of someone they love. In this moment, a desperate question echoes in our mind. What now? How will I live without this person? The answer that most people offer is insufficient, superficial, and leaves a void that seems never to be filled. But what if I told you that everything you believe about death is wrong? What if the person you love not only continues to exist, but is closer to you now than when they were alive? Allan Kardec, through decades of studies and communications with the spiritual world, discovered truths that completely transform our understanding about passing away. Today you will discover the 5 secrets that no one tells you about the moment when someone has passed away. You will understand why certain strange things began to happen in your house, why you feel inexplicable presences, and mainly, how to transform your pain into a bridge of real communication with those who departed. What you are about to learn is not just theory. These are practical knowledge that will change your relationship with death forever. If you have recently lost someone dear, or if you still carry the pain of an old loss, prepare yourself to discover that true love is stronger than death, and that there is a way to keep this connection alive and pulsating. There exists a sacred and mysterious moment that few truly understand. It is the precise instant in which the soul detaches from the physical body, beginning its journey back to the spiritual world. Allan Kardec, through his meticulous studies, revealed to us that this moment does not represent an end, but rather one of the most beautiful transformations that a being can experience. When we observe someone who has just passed away, we see only the inert body, but the spiritual reality that unfolds at that exact moment is extraordinarily different. The soul, free from the limitations of matter, experiences an indescribable sensation of lightness. It is as if invisible chains that bound it for decades were finally broken, allowing it to recover its true luminous nature. What happens in the first instance after passing is fascinating. Kardec documented through mediumistic communications that the newly liberated spirit maintains an intense energetic connection with those it left on earth. This bond is not a product of our imagination or our desire for consolation. It is a concrete and palpable spiritual reality. During these first moments, the departed loved one experiences extraordinary mental clarity. All earthly worries, all physical pains, all fears that accompanied them in life simply dissolve. In their place, a profound understanding emerges about the purpose of their existence and about the bonds that connect them to those who remained on the physical plane. It is precisely in this state of expanded consciousness that the departed develops an increased capacity to communicate with their family and friends. They perceive the tears shed in their memory, feel the love that still flows in their direction, and understand that their departure caused pain in those they love. This perception does not sadden them. On the contrary, it awakens in them an intense desire to transmit a fundamental message. Life continues, love remains, and separation is only temporary. The first days after passing are marked by intense spiritual activity. The spirit, still vibrating at frequencies close to terrestrial ones, manages to influence the physical world in subtle but perceptible ways. It is during this period that many families report inexplicable experiences that seem to be direct messages from the departed loved one. These manifestations are not coincidences, nor products of our emotional need for consolation. These manifestations we mentioned become the first concrete signs that our loved ones continue present in our lives, just in a different dimension. Allan Kardec dedicated years of his life cataloging and studying these communications, discovering that there exists an entire system of signs through which the departed make themselves perceived by us. The light that flickers without apparent reason in the room that was theirs. The picture that falls from the wall precisely at the moment when you were thinking of them with greater intensity. The characteristic perfume that arises from nowhere in a closed environment. All these phenomena possess a profound spiritual explanation. The departed spirit quickly learns to manipulate the energies of the physical plane to create these manifestations. Kardec observed that the recently departed develop a special ability to work with electromagnetic fields. This is why electronic devices frequently present strange behaviors when they are trying to communicate. The television that changes channels by itself, the cell phone that rings without anyone calling. the radio that tunes to a song that had special meaning between you. These are not technical defects. They are deliberate attempts at communication. Dreams represent one of the most powerful channels for these communications. During sleep, our conscious mind relaxes its defenses and allows more subtle perceptions to surface. It is in this state that the spirit manages to approach more easily, transmitting messages through images, sensations, and even conversations that seem absolutely real. Many people wake from these dreams with an inexplicable sensation of peace, as if they had really spent precious moments with those they love. Objects that possessed sentimental value for the departed also become points of energetic connection. Kardec discovered that these pieces maintain vibrational impressions that facilitate communication. This is why we often feel a stronger presence when we are close to the clothes, jewelry, or personal objects of those who departed. They become like antennas that amplify the connection between the two planes. Pets possess a natural sensitivity to perceive these spiritual presences. Frequently, dogs and cats react to something we cannot see, staring fixedly at a specific point in the environment, wagging their tail, or showing agitation without apparent cause. Kardec explained that animals do not possess the mental barriers that we develop, maintaining their spiritual perception more acute. But perhaps the most profound and touching sign is that which manifests through the very longing we feel. This intense emotion is not just a natural reaction to loss. This intense emotion that we call longing is, in reality, much more than a simple human reaction to absence. Allan Kardec revealed to us an extraordinary truth. Longing functions as an energetic portal that directly connects our heart to the heart of the one who passed away. The deeper the love shared in life, the more powerful this spiritual bridge becomes after departure. When we feel that piercing pain of absence, when the chest tightens and tears spring without warning, we are actually creating vibrational waves that cross dimensions. These waves carry with them all the intensity of our love, all the strength of our feelings, and reach the spiritual plane as clear and luminous messages for those who departed. The departed spirit perceives these loving vibrations very intensely. Kardec documented through mediumistic communications that the moments when we most feel longing coincide exactly with the moments when our loved ones approach us on the spiritual plane. It is as if our pain functioned as an irresistible call, an invitation for them to come console us and show us that they continue present. There exists a profound spiritual reason for the intensity of the longing we feel. It is not just the fruit of habit or memory. It is the reflection of a real bond that continues existing between souls. When two people truly love each other, they create energetic ties that transcend matter. Physical death cannot break these connections. It only transforms them. During moments of greatest sadness, when the reality of loss seems unbearable, our mind naturally opens to dimensions beyond the physical. It is precisely in these instants of emotional vulnerability that spiritual communications intensify. The heart, opened by pain, becomes a more sensitive receiver for messages from beyond. Kardec observed that many of the most touching and evidential communications happen when family members are going through moments of profound melancholy. It is as if the very suffering created a special attunement between the two planes, allowing information, consolations, and proofs of survival to flow more easily. Each tear shed in memory of the loved one carries with it a unique, energetic charge. These tears are not signs of weakness or despair. They are physical manifestations of a love that refuses to accept definitive separation. On the spiritual plane, these saline drops transform into pure light that envelops and warms the heart of the one who departed. But this pain of longing, however intense it may be, carries within itself the power to transform into something even more powerful. This transformation happens when we understand that we possess in our hands a spiritual tool of immeasurable power, the ability to send light and assistance to those who have passed away through our prayers and elevated thoughts. Allan Kardec demonstrated through his studies that there is a sacred responsibility that accompanies love, the responsibility to actively help the one who departed in their journey in the spiritual world. When we direct our thoughts and prayers to a beloved deceased person, we are not just alleviating our own emotional pain. We are creating real energetic currents that cross dimensions and reach them like true beacons of light in the spiritual plane. Kardec discovered that these loving vibrations function as concrete assistants for the spirit in their new reality. The recently deceased often finds themselves in a state of adaptation that can last days, weeks, or even months. Depending on how they lived on Earth, their material attachments, and their spiritual preparation, they may feel some initial disorientation in the world of spirits. It is precisely in these moments that our prayers become luminous compasses that help them find their way. Every time we pronounce their name with tenderness, every time we ask God to protect and illuminate them, every time we mentally send words of love and encouragement, we are actively participating in their process of spiritual elevation. Kardec revealed that spirits feel these vibrations as waves of warmth and light that surround and strengthen them in their new journey. Prayer made with sincerity possesses a unique energetic quality. It doesn't need to follow elaborate formulas or sophisticated words. Its strength resides in the purity of intention and the depth of feeling. When we pray for someone we love who has departed, our words transform into pure energy that projects through the subtle planes of existence. There is also the extraordinary power of positive visualization. When we close our eyes and visualize our beloved ones surrounded by light, when we see them happy and at peace, when we project thoughts of forgiveness, understanding, and unconditional love, we are literally sending these qualities to them in the spiritual plane. Kardec documented cases where these visualizations reached the deceased as real experiences of healing and elevation. The most powerful moment for these energetic communications is when we manage to transform our pain into prayer, our longing into light sent. Instead of letting ourselves be consumed by sadness, we can channel all this intense emotional energy for the good of the one who departed. It is a spiritual alchemy that transforms suffering into assistance, tears into blessings. But perhaps the most comforting aspect of all this spiritual understanding is the absolute certainty that Kardec brought us about something that transcends even death. This absolute certainty is the most beautiful and comforting promise that the Spiritist doctrine offers us. Those who truly love each other will meet again. Allan Kardec, through communications with elevated spirits and the meticulous study of real cases, brought us proof that genuine bonds of love are indestructible and cross not only physical death, but multiple existences and dimensions of life. The passing of a loved one represents only a temporary separation, comparable to a work trip that seems to last an eternity, but which has a certain date to end. The difference is that, in this separation, time is measured not in days or years, but in the spiritual evolution of both parties involved. Each experience lived, each lesson learned, each act of love practiced, brings us closer to the sublime moment of the definitive reunion. Kardec revealed that there is an inviolable spiritual law that governs these reunions. Spirits who shared profound bonds of love are naturally attracted to each other through the different stages of their evolution. It is as if there existed a spiritual magnetism that operates beyond our conscious understanding, guaranteeing that those who truly love each other will never be definitively lost. During the period we remain separated, the beloved one who passed away is not just passively waiting for us in the spiritual plane. They continue actively participating in our earthly journey, even if we don't consciously perceive their presence. Through sudden inspirations, through invisible protections, through opportunities that arise at the exact moment we need them, they act as a loving guardian who accompanies our steps. This active participation of the deceased in our current life has a profound purpose. They are helping us evolve spiritually, overcome obstacles, develop qualities that will bring us even closer when we finally meet again. It is a joint work of mutual elevation that happens even through physical separation. Kardec taught us that, in the spiritual plane, the reunion between souls who love each other is an experience of indescribable joy. All the pain of separation, all the accumulated longing, all the love kept in the heart transforms into an explosion of light and happiness that surpasses any joy we can experience in the physical plane. It is the moment when we finally understand that we were never really separated. Even while we remain on earth, we can prepare for this reunion through our own spiritual evolution. Each act of kindness, each moment of forgiveness, each gesture of selfless love we practice brings us vibrationally closer to the one who departed. We are literally building the bridge that will take us back to their arms. The certainty of this reunion should not make us neglect our current mission on Earth, but rather give us strength to fulfill it with more determination and love. We know that each day lived with purpose, each lesson learned with humility, each person helped with sincerity brings us closer to the moment when we can embrace again those we love so much, this time never to be separated again. Start today. Speak to them through your prayers. Observe the signs they send you. Transform each moment of longing into light sent. Stop living as if they had disappeared forever, because that is not true. The question that remains is, are you ready to live this new reality, or will you continue trapped in the illusion that death definitively separates those who love each other? If this knowledge touched your heart, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications to continue learning about the mysteries of spiritual life and about how to keep alive the connection with those we love so much.